Hey boys, it's HarmNone. In today's video, we're going over the top 10 best hypercars in Grand Theft Auto Online. Okay, so look, there aren't any actual hypercars in GTA Online as far as a class system goes, but there are some cars that are absolutely exceptional in every single category, a lot of which are actually based on real hypercars. Now, this list was really fun to make. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, a like is appreciated. If not, dislike. Consider subscribing if you guys are new, and let's go ahead and get started with number 10. At number 10, we have the Pagani Torero XO for $2,890,000. The Pagani Torero XO is one of the fastest cars in GTA Online on last gen in terms of going in a straight line. Now, in new gen, it's still pretty quick in a straight line, but you're going to get gapped by some of the cars that you're going to see coming up on this list a little bit later. Now, unfortunately for the Torero XO, despite its awesome looks, insane acceleration, and great top speed, the handling is a bit of a different story. This car unfortunately didn't get downforce added to it correctly, despite having multiple spoiler options as well as an active rear spoiler by default. Now, this results in the car having a severe allergic reaction to corners, which will cause you to end up in a tree, rocks, or the water. Likely all three, it would seem. However, as far as looks go, I think it's extremely hard to deny that this is maybe the most hypercar looking vehicle in all of GTA Online. If you can ignore the inability to corner, it's also one of the most awesome cars in the whole game. The Torero XO is awesome. You guys should definitely own one if you don't already. It's pretty sweet. At number 9, we have the Grotti Italy GTO for $1,965,000. Now, the Italy GTO has dominated the sports category for a number of years, and I certainly think it fits the bill to be on the hypercars list. Now, it is slightly challenging to get the hang of the car, but once you do, it's very unlikely to face much in the way of competition within the sports category, short of HSW capable vehicles like the Ubermacht Niobe, as well as the Panaud Le Carousse. This thing has all-wheel drive, granting it an excellent launch. It also features a very good top speed that can also be increased significantly by curb boosting. Otherwise known as intentionally hitting bumps in the road, it has advanced handling flags that cause the vehicle to go faster because of this. Now, like I said, the handling is a little bit tricky when you first get the car, but with practice it can become very, very good, and in fact it will become very, very good the more you use it. The customization on this car is also completely excellent, especially paired with the insane performance that the car has generally. Overall, it's an awesome car, and for under $2 million, it's a really fair priced vehicle in my opinion. At number 8, we got the Progen Emirates for $2,750,000. This is one of the top 2 supercars for last gen racing, in my opinion at least. Sorry, Krieger drivers, I know that one's gonna sting. This thing is absolutely awesome though. It's based on the real life hypercar, the McLaren Senna. It inherits a lot of the real car's characteristics in game, like the extreme downforce, the pretty great acceleration. Now this is of course once you get up to about 20 miles per hour, things pick up a lot. It's pretty bad off the line because it's rear wheel drive, but it does have a pretty excellent top speed, albeit not as good as the aforementioned Pagani Torero XO, but it's close and it has downforce, so that's kind of a huge bonus. This thing, similar to the Italy GTO, will take a little bit of practice, but once you get the hang of it, you will absolutely love it. Now, unfortunately, the customization for the car isn't the best that I've ever seen, but if you mess with it long enough, you will come up with something pretty cool for it. It's kind of a hard car to customize, but you can kind of figure it out. And overall, it kind of looks good anyways, because it's just, you know, the Progen Emirates. So there's that. At number 7, we got the Grotti Turismo Omaggio, coming in at $2,845,000. The Turismo Omaggio, first and foremost, can be upgraded to have the Imani Tech missile lock-on jammer, which is a huge feature in itself. It also has some pretty interesting customization, a lot of stuff that you can do to it, and on last gen it definitely puts up a pretty excellent fight against the top of the range supercars. It has immaculate handling, pretty great acceleration, and a very good launch despite being rear wheel drive only, and the top speed is also pretty decent. The car looks awesome, it has great performance. I think it's maybe one of the best looking Grotti vehicles in the entire game, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below though. Next up at number 6, we have the Benefactor LM87 for $2,910,000. Now, the LM87 is a fantastic car all the way around, no matter how you slice it. It has extreme downforce, and I mean it. This thing is crazy. It's as close as you can get to an open wheel F1 car as you can get with a quote-unquote regular car. Now, the LM87 is a full-blown race car and it does only have one seat, so it's not the most convenient car of all time. However, what it lacks in convenience, it does make up in performance. This is easily the fastest supercar in GTA Online on the PC platform. On console, it will still be very competitive, maybe even still the best, but on PC it has a crazy speed glitch where it goes unbelievably fast. The LM87 is an awesome car. It's got some great customization. I think it's really good looking too. Not necessarily much of a hypercar look, more of just a full-blown race car, but still, absolutely awesome car. Certainly is a hypercar in my mind as far as the term goes in GTA Online. Now next up, we're gonna go ahead and get into some like real hypercars with the Coil Cyclone 2 with HSW. This thing goes for $2,250,000, and for the initial HSW upgrade, it's gonna run you an additional $475,000. Now the Coil Cyclone 2 is a fully electric EV, and it is of course the sequel to the Coil Cyclone. Now the Cyclone 2 is stupid fast. It's all-wheel drive, it is fully electric, so it gets a great launch and really good acceleration. And with HSW, the top speed is actually pretty competitive and quite decent. The customization is a little bit lacking on this car, I do feel like, given the price tag, but you still can do quite a lot to this car, more than you can to a lot of other cars. I think it's a pretty cool one. The acceleration is awesome, but the biggest problem that I have with the Coil Cyclone 2 is when you put the HSW upgrade on and you fully upgrade it, this thing becomes mildly undrivable in the corners, shockingly. It's very weird. It has almost more power going to the front wheels than the rear wheels, it would seem. And this causes a lot of torque steer and kind of makes the handling experience a little bit miserable. However, I have found that if you just do the HSW upgrade, which is still going to get you a lot of speed, keep in mind, the handling won't suffer nearly as bad. So that is something to consider with the Coil Cyclone 2. Overall, I think it's an awesome looking car and you can't really go wrong with picking one up. However, there are some better hypercars ahead of it on this list, so stay tuned. Number 4, we got the Principe Devastate for $1,795,000. Now the Devastate is a really crazy looking car. It's based off of the Devil 16 from real life, which is basically a glorified concept car. I think there's like 3 that exist, but they're never going to be made into production, I'm pretty sure. Still pretty cool car though. And it also has an HSW upgrade for those of you that are on the next gen or the current gen platform, which is pretty cool. With the HSW upgrade, it gets an insanely high top speed, but even without the HSW upgrade, it still has a pretty good top speed. The thing with the Principe Devastate is that the handling is a little bit on the lackluster side, not so much in its inability, but just in the fact that it kind of tends to understeer because this thing is about 7 miles long. Still, pretty cool car. Customization kind of sucks. Overall, it's low-key kind of really ugly. It does have some pretty good performance. It's really hard to deny that. Off the line, it's pretty good despite being rear-wheel drive only. But once you get moving, the acceleration will definitely carry you very, very far. Overall, cool car. At number 3, we got the brand new Ubermacht Niobe with HSW. This thing goes for $1,800,000 and it costs an additional $1,800,000 for the HSW upgrade. Now, although the BMW i8 in real life is certainly not a hypercar, and I would almost argue it's barely a supercar, however, in GTA Online it certainly has the right characteristics. Being that it is a very crazy looking vehicle in real life, I will say it does look like a bit of a hypercar. The in-game version also shares that same identity, which definitely fits the build. The performance though is on another level, being essentially one of the very best cars in the entire game when the HSW upgrade is applied to it. This thing has all-wheel drive, which not only results in a great launch, but also excellent cornering abilities as well, and great acceleration. Now the top speed is also nearly 170 miles per hour, which is pretty much unheard of in GTA Online. This thing is fantastic, the customization is awesome, and even as a BMW i8 hater in real life, it's really hard to knock this thing. It is super good in GTA. I feel like the GTA performance should have been more like what the actual i8's performance was like in real life, but that might just be me. That's it for the Niobe though. Let's talk about number 2. We got the Overflawed Entity MT with HSW, or not HSW, you don't have to have it. This thing goes for $2,355,000 plus an additional $850,000 for the HSW upgrade. to make it into somewhat of a more tolerable vehicle, let's just say. Now, the reason that I say that is because the Entity MT basically copied the code from the overclocked Entity XXR, which came out about 6-7 years ago. And that car was kind of severely lacking because it had engine resistance, and then they just copied the code over to the Entity MT, which means it's not that fast and it kind of has a weak top speed. However, the HSW upgrade has fixed this. It's made it a lot faster. I believe it tops out at about 153 miles per hour with HSW on it. So if you're going to buy this car, I would definitely make sure HSW is available on your platform because it will make the vehicle shockingly more tolerable to drive. Now, it does have pretty good handling, I must give it that. The launch is pretty decent for being rear-wheel drive, and the top speed is okay, but it gets a lot better with HSW, that's for sure. It's got some really nice customization. One of my favorite looking cars in the entire game. This thing looks absolutely incredible. Looks just like the Koenigsegg Jesko. Very cool vehicle. Definitely one that I would recommend looking into if it's got HSW on your platform. If not, it's a cool car to pick up and just leave in the garage because you will absolutely hate driving it without HSW. Now, next up, we got an honorable mention. And of course, you knew I couldn't make a list about some of the fastest hypercars in GTA Online without mentioning the Ocelot Virtue. And trust me, I'm getting just as sick and tired of hearing about the Ocelot Virtue and even talking about the Ocelot Virtue as I'm sure you guys are of hearing about it. Now, of course, this thing is free for completing the first and last dose missions from the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC. You can get it for free when you complete the last mission. Now, you can also purchase it for $2,235,000 to $2,980,000 if you don't have the trade price, but I would definitely recommend getting it for free. And in fact, you actually get paid to get it, but you do have to sit through the DAX missions, which is almost torture, I would say. But the Ocelot Virtue is definitely a very good car. Fully electric, it has the best acceleration on last gen, no matter if you're on Xbox One, PS4, or PC. Barely anything could beat the Ocelot Virtue short of like motorcycles with speed glitches and maybe the LM87 with a speed glitch. So it's super fast. Down the airport runway, it's crazy. Now, it does have a weak top speed of only about 120 miles per hour, which is a little bit on the lower side. However, it gets to 120 miles per hour in like, I don't know, 2 seconds maybe. It's crazy how quick this thing is. It's also got some nice customization, and it certainly does fit the bill when it comes to the looks. This thing definitely looks like a hypercar. Overall, I would consider it to be a hypercar in GTA Online, and with that being said, I'm really done talking about it. So let's talk about number 1. And at number 1, we have the Pagasi Weaponized Ignis HSW for $4.5 million plus an additional $500,000 for the HSW upgrade, so quite on the expensive side, I would say. However, this thing is pretty cool because it does get a top-mounted minigun, which is crazy. It also gets a missile lock-on jammer from the factory. As soon as you buy it, it has a missile lock-on jammer. No need for an Amani Tech upgrade or anything like that. However, unfortunately, no explosive resistance whatsoever. But this list is about performance, and this thing certainly performs. It is the fastest supercar in Grand Theft Auto Online when it comes to racing. You cannot beat this thing on a track unless they crash if they're in first. But yeah, it's crazy fast. It has insane acceleration, very good launch. It is all-wheel drive, of course. Sounds pretty good and has a decent top speed in the 140-145 miles per hour range. Overall, it's an insane car with some really nice customization. Low-key, I wish there was a way to remove the turret off the top of it. I feel like that would be a really cool thing to do. Just get HSW, or maybe they just add HSW to the regular Ignis. That would be cool too. Because I think this thing's an awesome looking car, but the gun kind of takes away from it a little bit for me. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. So there you guys have it. That's been my list for the top 10 best hypercars in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know what you guys thought of my list. Do you think I missed anything? Is there anything that I should add? Should I do another one of these lists? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, dislike if you didn't, of course. Consider subscribing to my channel. Not that many of you guys are subbed, and it's kind of sad, man, because like I see the returning viewers and the number's like 600,000, and that means I could have 600,000 subs if y'all would just join the channel. So I mean, it's free, man. You don't even have to watch the videos, but I mean, come on now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.